Young people are hard, you know, but Smita, the view is young people today are realistic. Isn't it? Young people are, you don't insulate a young person. Don't prepare them for the reality of life. You can't stop.
No, I'm not saying insulate.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you insulate them. I'm saying you certainly prepare them. But don't prepare them in a 2-minute question for an exam. You must prepare them to be tough. You must prepare them to understand the realities of life, but not in an exam paper, no?
Okay.
That's not a preparation, that's a test.
Yeah, okay. One second. Before I come back to you, Smita, I want to go back to Gaurishwar. Let's get the other point of view. This is an examination paper. It's a test. You are not. It's not a training session on life, Gaurishwaran. That's the argument from Kavita Sharma tonight. She has a point.
Yeah, but my contention here is examination is also a part of life. Competition, appearing for exams is any case a part of life. So I don't see how we can really separate it. Also, Arnav, did you look at the questions in the other sets? For example, in another set they asked for a first-hand report of a road accident. So in that case, are we trying to say that we should not ask any questions which relate to anything unpleasant, first-hand or otherwise? Where are we going? I mean, what is it that we want our children to learn? What are we preparing?
Yeah.
I mean, I firmly believe that unless we make our children confident, ready to face anything that comes their way, how will they grow into creative, risk-taking persons?
Yeah. This children from class 5 onwards, Smita, they are asked to write about earthquakes, tsunamis, natural disasters, famine. Now, one school of thought will be, please don't ask our children to write about these things. They will be traumatized. Is that the argument?
Arnav, there's a difference between disaster, there's a difference between accident, and there's a difference between mass murder. We are talking about a terror strike, and we are talking about a personal experience, first-hand experience. And why do you need to be graded? As Ms. Sharma said, that Sanskriti school itself, where Ms. Ishwaran was the principal, they have all kinds of exercises, fire drills, they have bomb blast exercises also, where the child has to go under the table, has to evacuate the building. All these children in modern schools are going through it. Let's leave aside the rural schools, that's totally different ballgame. In these urban schools, they're exposed to all this, but that doesn't mean that we have to give them a first-hand experience. And also remember, this is just one exam, first exam, the only board exam that this child is going to take, and he is going to be graded on this for admission to college. And that is the only sole criteria for admission to college, and you grade them on this, on something which can be so traumatic an experience. The first question is about stress, about how a person has to cope with stress. The second question is about a terror strike. Is this how a first exam of 12th board should begin with?
I don't know. Let's ask the youngster on the panel, Dhruv. If this was your first exam, are you being a little? You passed the class 12 exam, I know that, but you must be a very good student to be an FMS. But the question is that put yourself in the shoes today of, say, Smita's son. You sit for the exam and you have these bang at you 2 questions. One says, if you're worried about exams, you're a weakling. And please, will you describe the blood and gore that goes with a crowded market, sort of bomb blast? You're not going to come out feeling very good.
Well, Arnab, I don't want to be, I don't know Smita's son, so I'm not going to comment about him. But I'll tell you one thing, after any board examination, the amount of hype it creates amongst the parents, the media, and of course the students, and the amount of stress levels that are actually projected about the board exams, I think that needs to come down. And the second thing is that these basically becomes distractions for students, and they become flimsy excuses for them more often than not, that look, mera paper acha nahi gaya, I did not do the paper well because I got this traumatic question. Now, unfortunately, this question is not traumatic, one. And secondly, as far as the second question goes regarding that some go into weeping wrecks, well, there are 2 ways to look at it. some person might get very down by it. I actually got spurred by it by saying that, okay, yeah, right. I mean, there are that, look, if I'm going into a weeping wreck or if I'm under pressure, I'm better than that, and I'm actually going to face up to the competition. So why does everything have, I mean, why do you look at everything in such a negative light, and why does everything have to be taken so negatively? The way I see it, it has become a very that CBSE is a very convenient punching bag for parents and for students to blame their exams, not to blame for when their exams are not going well, by calling it a traumatic question or calling it, you know, something that we were not expecting or it stressed us out too much, while I mean just because probably you did not prepare or your exam did not go well. So I see it as a flimsy excuse, nothing more.
I don't know. I mean, personally speaking, it's been more than 20 years since I took the class 12 exam. I would be more worried about algebra and Hindi than I would be about these questions. I would welcome these questions any day, but if you ask me algebra, I'd worry more about that. But thank you. But you know, at least we provoke. Yeah, okay, Smita. No, you know, yes, Smita. You're not worried about algebra, are you, or Hindi? That doesn't worry you.
Last question. You know, I'm not. No, that worries me, not my kid. But coming back to it, you know, every time the 12th board exam, there's always one error, one mistake, and every time there is one, one thing that becomes a controversial issue. It's just that, like Ms. Sharma said, that there should be something where, you know, every year that they go over the questions and say, what did we do wrong? Because the child has just that one attempt to take the exam. That's it.
Well, unfortunately, ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but unfortunately, you cannot have everything without controversy. This is also a fact of life, and if you are calling these controversies, what are you preparing your children for? They are going to face much worse controversies in the future.
Well, I don't know. This issue is out for debate. The jury is still out.
The controversy is really...
Yes, Kavita Sharma, yes.
The controversy is, the controversy is really that the parents are stressed out, the students are stressed out, and the stress is not so much about the competition or the... It's about marks. And how do I get into what I consider a prestigious institution? So I want everything, you know, ask parents, they will not switch on TVs, they will not hear music, they will not let their kid go anywhere, won't let anyone visit them, because they have to get those magic figures to get to those magic colleges. So at the end of it, that's what the stress is about. But actually, as a teacher, I would say, you still need to fine-tune your question papers and make them more productive than what they are at the moment.
I was seeing the news report here, and I found that more parents than students were complaining about the questions. So it appears to me, Gauri Ishwaran, that parents are more stressed nowadays than students in the class 12. No, Smita, it's true. Parents are more stressed than...
Actually, it is. I agree with you, Arnav. The pressure on children comes mainly from parents.
That's true.
And I wish in our Indian system we did not put so much pressure on our children. If we had more institutions of excellence in higher education, and if the children were assured of seats in colleges of that choice, you would not have all this stress and tension.
I completely agree with you.
Much less controversy.
I completely agree with you. On that, I 100% agree. Well, I would like to wish all the students taking the class 12 exam the very best of luck. You know, don't worry about these. Worry about the bigger questions. Have a great examination.